Hello Pisces, thank you so much for being here with me today. This is going to be your June 2023 tarot reading. This is for anyone with their sun, moon, or rising sign in the sign of Pisces, or anyone who has prominent Pisces aspects in their chart. We are going to start with the astrology for the month and then go into the tarot cards. I am recording June 5th, 2023, but I do want to emphasize that we did have a full moon in Sagittarius on June 3rd. So this was 2 days ago, and I understand that this already happened. However, with the full moon for every month, that there's a full moon, and it always brings a theme for the month that'll last the duration of the month, right? So this is going to be, or this happened, I'm speaking past tense, this happened June 3rd, full moon in Sagittarius. And this theme for the month is going to be around our belief systems and of some sort. So depending on where the full moon is in your chart will determine and indicate where these belief systems are going to take place, like what part of our life, right? And so it is also bringing in some enthusiasm around a new type of belief system or a new idea or ideal that you have, as well as for some, you will be traveling, or at least want to travel, start making plans to travel. And if you are making those plans already, and you're thinking about when is a good time to do that, I would say that the month of June would be an ideal time to get, to go out and get away for a bit. And this usually brings up ideas around foreign people, foreign ways of living, a need or a desire, not a need, but a desire to learn something new, something that, you never have really thought of before or dived into before. So this is something that's sort of out of the norm for you that you are going to find that you will be interested in for the month of June. If we're looking at Pisces specifically, this full moon in Sagittarius is falling in a part of life that has to do with your career. So this is how you show up in your workplace. The position that you hold, what influence is that, right? Like, how are you influencing your surroundings at your workplace or in a place that you are associated with, like in a group dynamic? What role do you play in that group dynamic? It also speaks to the status. So it could be financial status, and you may be changing your ideas and belief systems, again with that full moon in Sagittarian energy, around how you see your status, right? From a financial perspective or in your career, what role do you hold once again, right? So there's some indicators here around that for the month of June. And we are going into the middle of the month on June 18th. We have a new moon in Gemini, and this is going to be falling on the complete opposite side of your career, which is your home. So in the middle of the month, there is emphasis and focus around your home, your root system, your family, your history, your family history. Maybe you are spending more time thinking about family or having kids, or your kids are having kids. There's talk about that, like growing the family, and a lot of conversations around it. Since this new moon is going to be in Gemini, there's a need to converse and articulate thoughts and be interactive and have dialogue with one another. So there may be some family gatherings, visiting people in your family. Even if it's friends, there's a sense of them being family, and there's a lot of mental interchange between people during the middle of the month as well. This new moon is squaring, it's making a square aspect to Neptune in Pisces. And when there is a square, squares do bring an element of challenge. However, it is in the sign of Pisces, which It's also a mutable sign, or an adaptable sign, the way a Gemini is. And so there may be some commonality here as it relates to just overall like reciprocity and harmony and things in common with these other individuals that you will be speaking with. Also, since it is Neptune in Pisces and you are a Pisces, there is an element around intuition, maybe a little fantasy, heavy artistic endeavors as well. You know, maybe you are diving into a more mystical area of life or thought process, or maybe you are doing sort of holistic, organic type of healing, or those interests that we were speaking about with that full moon in Sagittarius, these new foreign interests that you have. Maybe it has to do something with that Pisces watery realm, that in a sense is more romantic, a little whimsical and fantasy-like. But then there could also be that really depth and deep side of this that you may be diving into. So these conversations that you're having with others, especially family dynamics, could be around these types of subjects as well, in some way, shape, or form, if that makes sense. So I think overall, you know, it's that work and home balance this month, and trying to balance that out. And then again, sticking with the theme of the month with that full moon in Sagittarius, which is something changing or shifting within our belief system and our ideals, right? Around home and work. But underlining that, like the feeling of it, is enthusiasm for this sort of new opportunity as it relates to home, work, belief systems, and ideas. There's enthusiasm for that, if that makes sense. And I've also been speaking about Jupiter. I know that this is taking a while, but I am enjoying speaking about the astrology at the beginning of the reading. So I also been talking to the other signs about Jupiter and how it has just changed or gone into the sign of Taurus, and it should be in this area of life in this sign for the next year or so. And this is playing a role in, again, how you communicate and the interchange that you have with others. Typically, traditionally, this area of life has to do more with friends, siblings, neighbors of that sort, not necessarily the intimate family, even though siblings are. But there is communication and interchange between these types of people or these types of groups. However, my own personal experience with this placement, not that I have this placement, but just this area of life, when I see planets go into this area of life, it does talk about getting to know oneself through others, right? So here, because there's so much communication happening, and you may be meeting new people from different parts of life, but new people coming in throughout the next year, you will be communicating with them and learning about them. In turn, this is a reflection or a mirror for yourself to learn about yourself. And that is the from experience and from what I've seen doing readings and how I see this area of life, it is not just about other people. Essentially, the lesson learned here at the end of this year is going to be around how do those people reflect something about yourself. Therefore, you start to know yourself more and more and more through others, if that makes sense. So by the time this transit is over in a year or so, you will have a more self-awareness about who you are, your opinions, what you stand for, how you show up, seeing yourself in a new light, not necessarily changing but just gaining more self-awareness, if that makes sense. So I think that is always a positive thing. All right, let's get into the cards. We're going to start with your personal energy for the month of June. What is Pisces going to be exuding to the world personally for the month of June, please? Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords. The Two of Pentacles. And the Nine of Wands. There may be something that you are stressed and anxious about starting or throughout the month of June. With the Nine of Swords, this has to do with the energy or the time where we are extremely stressed out and anxious, like full-blown anxiety mode. This is us being in our head, you know, having a million thoughts going through us, playing out a million different stories, thinking of the what ifs. You know, when we have anxiety, it's because we are thinking about the future and the fact that we don't know something. We don't know how something is going to play out. We have an idea that there could be a potential play out, but we don't know if that's going to happen, and we don't have all of the information that we need in order to have like a really solid vision of what that future is. And it's usually around something that we really, really value, we really care about, we really need. It could be a necessity to you of some sort, which, you know, that would be the only reason why the anxiety would be so strong. It could be a perception that you may lose something that you need to live in some way, shape, or form. But the thing about this card also is that it's the swords. This is the element of air, and this has to do with our thoughts, with our mental process, which is not reality. Okay, so it's not in the earthly realm. It's not materialized yet. You cannot physically touch it. It's not tangible. It is only in your head. And these are just thoughts that have not happened or are not happening. So there's a need to ground yourself here and understand that and be present in this moment, that in this moment things are okay, right? And there's that thought or that's, you know, concept of, you know, how the what ifs are not real, right? Like, we don't know how something is going to play out. Me and my friend always say, like, we don't know what it's going to look like. The universe surprises us every day, if you really think about it, right? We are in a routine-like situation. We think that we have everything, you know, sort of taken care of and under control. And then sometimes the universe comes in and makes us change something. You know, sometimes things happen that are out of our control. And so I don't know exactly what this is yet, but we don't know how things are going to play out. And if you look back into your history of your life, can you remember a time where you were in an anxiety mode? You thought something was going to happen, and when it happened, you would have never thought that it would have played out that way, right? Like that's an example of how the universe works. Whatever is happening is meant to happen right now. And how it's going to happen is meant to happen that way. There's a really, really strong need for you to have faith and trust in yourself, your capability, the life that you've been able to create right now, as well as the universe, spirit, God, whatever you call it. And trust and have faith and be present in this moment and get out of the future. You are in this perceived fake future that you don't even know is real yet, and you're over there with these thoughts. You're not here right now in this moment, which you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, you're wasting productivity, and you know, your ability to be practical and really do something about your situation. What is important right now? What can you do right now? Get out of the future. Your life is not over there. Your life is here at this moment. There may be something that you're juggling, and there's also a sense of being defensive and protective. You're trying to protect something really, really strongly. So with this anxiety, you're doing, it's like I'm losing control of whatever it is that you've created that you feel you need to protect. All right, Pisces, let's keep going. This is your environment. So we have the Six of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Pentacles. In your environment, there is a sense of needing to have really strong intuition. Needing to follow your instincts, follow your gut, trust in yourself, your higher self, trust in the universe, go within, do some meditating, close your eyes, get quiet, get away from the distractions, clear your mind, connect with the earth, connect with the elements, connect with nature, connect with the universe, the sky. Breathe. Focus on your breathing. Think before you speak. If you're not going to say, if you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. Quiet, silence, calm, slowness. This is all going to help you get out of this mental situation that you're in. There's also going to be, there's also something around something moving, like moving away from something. Moving away from a toxic behavior, moving away from, you know, things that are not suited for you, not good for you. If it is anything that has to do with your outer world, then this could be a habit that you have. This could be your environment that you're in. This could be like your routine and how your routine is not working for you. There's something about your routine that is low vibe, and you need to get out of that. Or you need to move away from this thing that you know that is not producing or adding anything of value or just overall goodness for you and your life and your loved ones. There is something, and it could be a mental thing where it's like your behavior. Maybe you are, because the Six of Swords is talking about getting away from a mental, psychological situation that you find yourself in. And the reason I say that is because the card before this one is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords is a toxic energy. This is where we are playing mind games with others. This is where we're trying to get ahead, you know, and bring someone down. And, you know, there's deceit and there's lies here, and there's, you know, just like overall selfishness here. Ego lives here, like low ego, negative ego lives here, you know. And there's a need to look at that. If this is you, don't take it if it's not you, right? If it's someone else, and you know, then by now as I'm speaking, you know who that is and you know what that's about already. So don't force it if it is, you know, you or someone else, right? Like, you know who it is. But there's a need to get away from that energy completely. And so you're reevaluating it. You are redoing something. You are putting all of your cards on the table and you're spreading them out, and you're like, what is important, right? Like, what part of life is important? What do I need now? What is important now? Everything else is distraction. Everything else is bullshit. Let's see what details come through. Anything that Pisces needs to prepare for, anticipate. Could be people or situations for the month of June, please. You have the Page of Emotions, which is the Page of Cups. The Ace of Wands. The Five of Wands. And the Six of Wands. All right, so when we have heavy Wands energy, this is the element of fire. So there is a need to take action. So whatever it is that has you over here in your head, you're probably not doing anything about it, which is causing even more anxiety. So if this is you, you need to get up. You need to get up and you need to do something. Even if it is like taking things one step at a time, like one day at a time, right? Like every day, depending on your situation, I don't know what it is or who I'm speaking with, right? But depending on your situation, every day do one thing at least that can start to move this energy out. So even if it is something that is not related to what where your fear is coming from, right? Do something out of the ordinary to start to move energy around, if that makes sense. Like, you need to do something that is not part of your daily routine, even if it's just one thing. Ideally, do something that relates to what you're fearful about, how to fix that. If you cannot do that, then do one thing every day that is not in your normal routine. And this is how you are working with the earthly realm, the element of earth, and you're moving energy. So you can move a situation to get out of this that you're in. But there's a heavy need to take action on something. To move, to do, get up. Something is coming out of, there's like new inspiration, new desire, new passion. Something in the beginning of June, there's newness coming through here. There's a new opportunity that is going to come in. And I can't stress this enough about getting up. I don't want you to miss it. It is here. You can take it if you see it. And you should take it because this is coming in for a reason. If you are in fear mode and anxiety mode and all of the sudden an opportunity comes in, that is the universe telling you. And it may not even make sense, but that's the universe telling you that this is your answer. This is your gift. This is my help. I'm helping you. Take this, right? There may be a lot of people around you that are not on the same page, that have their own ideas, own opinions, own agendas, and none of it is aligning together. If this is just you, you may have different ideas of something that are very different from one another, and you're trying to find balance and you're trying to align them. And this may be another reason for the anxiety. Maybe all of these things are very important to you. Maybe all of these people are very important to you, but they are not important to each other in some way. And so you're wanting to bring some balance and bring some harmony together. There is also accomplishment and success here. It's just weird energy how you're coming from this place. Even your environment is a little toxic, but there's so much positivity here. Is this an opportunity for harmony? Is this an opportunity for, success in aligning certain parts of your life? Someone has a lot of attention on them right now. Someone may be a person that everybody is going to for needs. Like people need something from someone, and there's a lot of, requests happening. I don't know, I just feel like people coming to you from, different parts of your life, and it's just like, can you do this for me? Can you help me with this? Can you do me a favor? Can I borrow some money? Can I, all these things, and and you're shining. There is a light coming out of you. People are attracted to this right now. People are attracted to your light. Let's see what else comes through. The Five of Swords, which is that one card I was talking about with all the toxicity that comes before this card. This is the stuff that in your environment, somebody or you needs to get away from. The Four of Wands. The Two of Wands. And the Four of Cups. We have the Moon at the bottom. So this is telling me that this has to do with something that is being hidden. You don't know all of the information. Something is in the dark right now. Maybe you're in the dark. Again, going back to the anxiety, the reason for the anxiety. There's a home environment here. Again, more celebration coming through. I need to be happy. You need to celebrate something. And acknowledge something. Someone has accomplished something. You may have a lot of people in your home right now. You may have a lot of visitors coming through, or just the people that do live in your home, for some reason they're not aligning. And so there's a lot of toxicity coming through these different people. Again, this is when people have their own agendas, their own needs, their own wants, and they don't mesh well with others, with the other needs and wants of the other people. And so there could be someone or several people acting out because they want to retain control, or they want to have a leverage, or I'm hearing like their stuff is more important than anybody else's stuff. And then the other person is like, no, my shit is more important than your thing, and so no one is really willing right now to compromise and find solutions and, sort of see another person from where they're coming from and be empathetic as well. So there's a lot of chaotic energy coming through here, and it could be inside of your home, within the home area of your life. Someone knows they need to make a decision, but they just don't have the energy. It's like, I'm tired of it. At some point in the middle of the month, with all of this toxicity and all of this anxiety and, you know, all this stuff, I think you're going to feel a little burnt out, tired. You're like, I'm over it. I don't care anymore. Do what you want. Like, don't even come to me. Like, I'm done helping. Y'all figure it out type of thing. But I think it is on you to really step in and make this decision. There's a decision. Once you make a decision, I think that this is all going to pass or stop. Like, there's something about you here that is a, you know, again, decision maker. But, and I don't know if that's, you know, that could be why you have the anxiety as well. Like, you know, you have to make a decision and it may upset other people. If this is your home, then you need to do what is good for you, right? If there are adults living in your home, the adults should be able to handle their stuff. If you have children living in your home and adults, like, obviously what's good for the children come first, right? And what's good for you, because you're the one, it's your home. Especially if you're paying all, I mean, regardless if you're paying all the bills or not. If the home is yours and you have other people paying the bills, that doesn't matter. Okay? It is still your decision at the end of the day. And you can make that decision. Even if somebody else is paying the bills, that is not an excuse for them to have leverage on something. And especially if they're an adult, you know, of course, if they have the capability to live on their own and pay their own bills and, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know, this is the story that is coming to me, you know, intuitively. So this is how I'm speaking on it. If it's not your actual, the details of your story, you can still take away the concepts that I'm talking about. But there is something around, at the end of the day, it's your decision. At the end of the day, you know, you do what's best for you. You do the right thing. I think we all should, how can I say, like, we all know right from wrong, the basis of what's right. And sometimes we second guess it or overthink it because there's other people or situations involved. And we're trying to look for alignment, you know, how, again, the compromise, how can I compromise and get, you know, a win-win for everyone? And that's great if you can do it and if people are on board. But if you've been going through this for a bit, people are not on board with that, or there is just no way for whatever reason that all of these things can align, then that is just your time to make a decision once and for all and to stick with it, right? If you cannot come up with the compromise, fine. You tried, can't do it, fine. Make a decision. Then stick with it, and whatever happens, happens. And usually things happen the way they're supposed to happen. Everything plays out the way it's supposed to play out. When we have anxiety, we're trying to control a situation that cannot be controlled. There's something here that you cannot control, and you cannot have it your way for whatever reason. Sometimes we can't have things our way. And there's a lesson there. There's a reason there. There's something that the universe is trying to show us from that. You can stay here forever and not make any traction because you cannot figure something out that, you know, and get it to how your liking is. Sometimes there is a need to surrender. Queen of Wands, another fire energy. Judgment. The King of Cups. And the Eight of Cups. So at the end of the month, I think that you do make a decision. I think that you do end up taking control of your situation. I think that you know, after this point of like, I'm tired or whatever, you come out of it and you're just sort of like, okay, I need to get back out there. I need to do this thing. I need to take control again. You know, like you're waking up and you're coming out of all of this mental stuff and you're more inspired. Maybe you said yes to this new opportunity, and by the end of the month you start seeing the results from that and you start seeing things come together. I think it's just the middle of the month. It's going to be pretty chaotic for you, but once you take control of yourself, then that means you take control of the situation and your life around you, and then you're out and you're strong and you're noticeable and you have presence, and people are, you know, they're still gravitated towards you, but in a different way where, okay, you're taking lead, you're taking control. This is what's going to happen. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. This is what I need from you. And so there's that leader capability that's coming out at the end of the month. And, you know, I think that you find a solution. I think you find a solution. You find something that will work, even if it still doesn't come together and it's all aligned. It's like a separate solution for each person, right? So if people can't come together, fine. But this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do, type of thing. I'm feeling that really strongly, which is awesome. Good job. There is something that you become aware of. Maybe it is awareness of your capability to be this way. Like you start to do this and then you see it in your face. Like you see the results. You see the changes in people. And you pick up on the fact like, hey, this is a part of me that I didn't know about, right? Going back to the astrology when I was saying, you know, the people in your life are going to be coming into your life so that way you can see a part of yourself and be more self-aware. And so I think that by the end of the month, you see something about you, a leader capability, you know, a person that can really take charge and be strong with their convictions and what they believe in and what they say, you know, what they say that they're going to do, they do it, type of thing. I feel a lot of strength here. I love it. There may be another person that comes through that maybe notices that about you and is willing to be on the same page. This person has emotion for you. Love is here, like a partner. And I think they're helping, you know, they're supporting this. They're helping this happen. Maybe they're not doing the work of it, but they are a good rock, a good solid, you know, person that you can lean on and know that no matter what you do, no matter what is happening, this person is always going to be there. And you need that. You need that strong foundation. So that way, you know, it's like the masculine, and it could be woman or man, it doesn't matter. But the energy of the masculine is the one that holds space for the energy of the feminine to create and be themselves. Okay, so that's that feeling I'm getting here with someone being a really strong rock for you, woman or man, and you are able to know that you're supported. So therefore you have confidence and trust that you can come up and rise up and do what you need to do. And if you fall, you have someone to catch you. So yeah, by the end of the month, you're away, you're coming away, you're out of this anxiety mode. and you're just like putting that part of the in the past. You have, again, a new inspiration, new enthusiasm, sticking with that theme of the full moon in Sagittarius, having enthusiasm right now for something. I just think that, you know, you start off with opportunity, and I'm hoping you take this opportunity, and the middle of the month is a little chaotic, but you figure it out. You and your partner here. Doesn't have to be love, but, you know, there's someone there. You learn something about yourself, you know, and you put this behind you. And you have, again, continuing with that trust and that faith that you need to have to get you through this. Don't forget the self-care, the need to get out of this at the beginning of the month so you can notice this and handle this, and then come out and behave like this. Cool. I so appreciate your time and energy with this reading, watching this reading today, Pisces. If you are interested in a personal reading, I do card readings. I also do astrology readings. My information is in the details of the channel. If you liked the video, if you were able to gain any insight or perspective, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please like it. And I would really love and enjoy and be honored if you were to follow me on this journey. I just started YouTube, doing YouTube readings. And, you know, I would love if you followed me on this journey, like I said, and watch the rest of the videos that I am going to be putting out. But either way, I hope you have an awesome, beautiful, wonderful month of June. And we will see each other again on the next one. Thank you so much.